January 2026 brought one of the most intense weather events ever seen across the central Mediterranean, Cyclone Harry. In just days, this powerful storm dramatically transformed the landscapes of Sicily and southern Italy, leaving towns flooded, infrastructure destroyed, and communities in shock. But to fully understand the scale and context of such extreme weather, we will compare Cyclone Harry's impacts with another recent catastrophic storm, Hurricane Melissa, which struck Jamaica as a historic Category 5 hurricane in late 2025. Cyclone Harry was not a typical winter storm. Drawing moisture and energy from the Atlantic and North Africa, it became a large, slow-moving weather system that battered Sicily with torrential rain, powerful winds, and storm surges. Coastal towns such as Messina, Catania, Ragusa, and Lettergeni reported streets instantly turning into rivers of flowing water, sweeping away cars, uprooting vegetation, and inundating homes. Dramatic visuals showed residents racing for safety as walls of water filled urban centers. Authorities issued red alerts across Sicily, Sardinia, and Calabria, mobilizing thousands of emergency responders. Schools were closed, and roughly 190 people were evacuated from the most flood-prone areas. In terms of sheer financial costs, the preliminary estimates were staggering. The Sicilian regional government placed the direct damage at about €740 million, with additional losses mounting in neighboring regions. Winds exceeding 100 kilometers per hour and waves up to 9.5 meters high battered coastlines, destroying waterfronts, flooding shops, and tearing down infrastructure. Many locals described once familiar places as unrecognizable, entire neighborhoods altered and landscapes reshaped by floods and debris. Despite the severity of the storm, early reports indicated that improved early warning systems and mass evacuations helped prevent widespread loss of life. Damage was immense, but the human toll was, at least initially, far lower than it might have been without those precautions. Now shift attention across the Atlantic to late October 2025, when the Caribbean faced an entirely different, but even more devastating, storm, Hurricane Melissa. Unlike Cyclone Harry, which was a Mediterranean storm system, Hurricane Melissa was a tropical cyclone, a classic Atlantic hurricane that formed over the very warm Caribbean waters. Melissa rapidly intensified and reached Category 5 status, with maximum sustained winds near 185 miles per hour, almost equals 295 km/h. This made her one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes on record, and the most powerful ever to hit Jamaica. Melissa's slow forward motion meant the island endured prolonged wind and rain, increasing flood risk and structural stress. When it made landfall near New Hope in western Jamaica, the storm unleashed catastrophic force. Winds ripped roofs off buildings, knocked down power lines, and flattened trees. Landslides struck rural regions, and heavy rainfall turned roads into treacherous waterways. Initial assessments estimated that roughly 90,000 families in western Jamaica were directly affected, with over 120,000 buildings losing roofs and homes smashed or severely damaged. Many communities were still isolated by floodwaters even days after the storm's passage. Beyond immediate devastation, the impact on critical services was severe. Vast areas were plunged into darkness as electrical grids failed, and access to clean water and communications became limited. Recovery efforts centered on restoring power, clearing block roads, and delivering emergency supplies. While Cyclone Harry and Hurricane Melissa were both powerful storms, their scale, nature, and impact differ greatly. Storm type. Cyclone Harry was a Mediterranean system, intense for its region but generally smaller in scale than Atlantic hurricanes. Hurricane Melissa was a Category 5 Atlantic hurricane, the highest category of tropical cyclone, with far stronger sustained winds. Wind and rain intensity. Harry brought strong winds and heavy rain that overwhelmed local drainage, causing floods and surges. Melissa delivered sustained winds above 180 miles per hour, ready to destroy most standard structures, and dumped torrential rain leading to catastrophic flooding across Jamaica. Human and economic cost. Harry caused hundreds of millions of euros in regional economic damage and dramatic local destruction. Melissa caused widespread structural destruction, massive roof loss, and social disruption affecting tens of thousands of families. Fatalities and aftermath. Harry's early report suggested minimal fatalities, largely due to effective early warnings and evacuations. Melissa's preliminary death toll included dozens across the Caribbean, and recovery was projected to take months to years as Jamaica rebuilt infrastructure and homes. Cyclone Harry and Hurricane Melissa remind us that extreme weather events can strike anywhere, from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean, with devastating results. While differences in storm strength and regional preparedness shape outcomes, both events illustrate the urgent need for robust disaster planning, resilient infrastructure, and global cooperation in responding to extreme weather, especially as climate change may make such events more frequent and intense.